I'd get annoyed, and every time he says that, I'm like,
it's a parent thing,
like,
you know.
Like at times I look at him and I'll forget that he's my dad. I'm like, who do you think you are talking to like that about? You're big, but you're not that big. I'll show you how big I am. But then when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, humble yourself, because be thankful of everyone that's helped you get to where you are, because you're not going here by yourself. Yeah. You need people to get to where you need to get to, and then.
Today we have a very special guest here.
Yes, we do. Yes. We have Super Mario the Silva in the house. Yeah.
What can we say? Good afternoon now.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, alhamdulillah. Doing very good today.
Yeah. So what's good? What's good?
Good, man. Just started training. Just practicing little things for December 16th.
What show's that?
This is Black Flash Promotions.
Okay.
Ebola's Arena.
You got yours.
Promote. Tell the people.
Tell the people about it, man.
So we got a fight December 16th, Black Flash Promotions in Bowlers Arena, Manchester. Listen, you don't want to miss this one, because I'm telling you, this is lights out. James Toney style.
Tell them.
Who's the opponent?
We've got a Russian kid coming over. I forgot how to pronounce his name. Original middleweight. He's fought at super welter before and welter before.
Okay.
He just his recent fight was 4 months ago against a kid called something Patterson. He's an upcoming prospect signed by Frank Warren.
Okay.
And he was able to knock him out. And me personally, this fighter did it very predictably.
Yeah.
It was very obvious what he was doing, and he was able to knock him out.
Ready. Yeah.
And with my capabilities and what me and my coach go through every day in the gym, trust me, you don't want to miss this fight. It's going to be a knockout.
I'm excited already. I'm excited.
Who's your coach? Tell people out there who's your coach.
So, best coach in the world, in my eyes, Paulino, and he's my dad. Started him from the get-go, from the day that I moved in with him.
Yeah.
And that was the same day that we started boxing, because obviously I'd be in the gym from a young age. I was getting my diapers changed in the gym. I grew up sleeping, listening to
your blood.
Yeah.
The bags, the pads getting hit, so it's always been second nature.
Yeah.
But had a couple incidents, had obviously my lifestyle, and obviously what I was going through and what I was doing, going down a dark path, and then obviously being depressed and going through stuff in my life. And then it got to a point where I ended up moving with my dad, and I just said to him, you know what? I've realized every time I try to get away from boxing or get away from being around him, the more I try, the more I get drawn towards it. The more that I end up finding myself there, or I'll go out and someone will say, "You're Paulino's son," or someone will go, "Oh, do you want to go gym with me?" I'm like, "Yeah, we'll go gym." I'm thinking we're doing weights. The next minute, I'm outside the Colliers, Mustard. I'm like, as much as I try to get away from him, I can get away from boxing, because I'm a soft-hearted person. I don't believe in hurting other people. So then to think to myself, as much as I try to get away, I end up back there. So I thought, you know what? Maybe this is destiny. Why am I trying to run from it? May as well just see where this takes me. And then I said to him, I want to start boxing. And he went, you know what? All right. So we were training for a bit, but he wasn't taking me serious. And then when I said to him, yo, I am serious, he threw me under the bus. Let's just keep it at that. He threw me under the bus. He took me for sparring, and I got licked up in the sparring. Licked up to the point where I'm in the back of the change room. I'm half in tears, trying to hold it back. My nose is bleeding for the first time in my life. My nose is bleeding. My eyes twitching. I'm in the car. My ribs are hurting. I'm thinking,
reality.
Watch. And he just turned around and went, "Do you want to box again?" I went, "Yeah." Because in my head, I'm thinking, how can I sit and let someone do that to me? I've got to do that to them.
Character building.
Good.
It's all about character.
And that's where we started. And
you can tell he's from the same blood.
Nah,
same
definitely.
cloth cut out.
Yeah,
definitely. Same mentality as your dad.
It's literally to the point where no one's gonna silver spoon feed you in this life. If you want something, you gotta go get it. If you don't graft what you want, then there's no point having it. Why do you think these guys work so hard to achieve, whether it's boxing or not boxing? Why do you think they work so hard to get to where they want to get to? It's not because they want to get there. It's like you said before, it's the process.
It's always the journey.
I'm grafting for it. So when you've earned it, you can look back and go, look at all that I've done.
Yeah.
I deserve this.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is a lot of people only ever see the victory. They never see the suffering. They
What
only
you go
see
through.
the final. Like the crowd at home only see you on TV. They don't know how you arrived there, right?
That's the hardest bit about boxing is the fact that the outside, as soon as you walk out these doors, no one understands what you go through.
No.
People think boxing is like a sport to other people. I always say the same thing to everyone. Boxing is not a sport.
No.
A sport is
No.
you got a team. So if you slack, you can rely on your teammates.
Yeah.
Not only that, it's friendly. No one's getting hurt.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
anything, injury by mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not life-threatening injuries.
Yeah.
Boxing, you're in a ring. There's another man
Yeah.
trying to take your head off.
Yeah.
To me, I see boxing as a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It is a lifestyle. I even originate all the way back to gladiator days.
Yeah.
We're basically like how the gladiators used to be,
first
but
one?
now we got rules. We have a ref. We have gloves. So I keep that same mentality, but now I'm thinking, no, it's just a bit soft. I got gloves on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's
you
only
got-
so you
you
can
got
fight
to go for what you
another
want.
day,
But then
right?
this is what people don't see.
They
They
don't,
don't see the blood, sweat, and tears. They don't see the mental trauma you go through. They don't see how hard you put your body through. People think, oh, you train boxing every day. That's easy. I go to work every day. No.
It's a job.
Put me in your lifestyle. I'll happily work 9 to 5, and I'll show you how easy it is.
Yeah.
And I'll get the job done without being a busy fool.
Yeah.
People don't understand that I have to wake up, think, right, I need to graft my body today.
Yeah,
I don't feel it, but I need to. It's the discipline. You got to.
You know you need to do it.
And
Yeah,
then
it's-
the fact of selling tickets, you have to convince people to put
Believe
hands
in
into
And
their
they want a
pockets.
free
to come.
ticket, gives a free ticket.
And then they're like, oh, you can't do that. Oh, I don't even give my mum a free ticket, so how am I going to give you a free ticket? And then you got to explain to them.
And yeah.
And then it's not only that, waiting.
Yeah.
This is it's a when you
Patient
choose
game.
when you choose this type of lifestyle, especially being an athlete,
Yeah.
we're not earning money every day.
No.
So you got to put 100% belief and faith
Yeah.
into not only God but yourself that is going to pay off. So the waiting game can be a very, very traumatic experience
You
for
gotta
one
be
person
patient.
when it comes to how they think about things.
Yeah. You have to be
And,
very
and,
patient.
and even when you're waiting to fight as well, you got to think about that. Keep your mindset as
Yeah,
well,
because
you have
you
the
need to stay ready.
butterflies and everything inside, and you have these dreams, thinking.
Talking about mindset.
Mindset,
His dad left the question for the next guest.
Yeah,
And you're the next
okay.
guest. So he said, what your mindset when things are difficult, in that difficult time, what keeps you going?
Right.
The fact that we already prepare for when things go wrong. Like in training, we don't just talk about when things go right. We always talk about when things go wrong because things will go wrong. We can't be blind to when things go wrong because what happens is boxing. One punch can change everything.
That's it.
One punch, next minute, I've got to take a knee, or I'm losing a fight I'm behind, or I've lost a fight,
Or you're injured.
or I'm injured, and now I've got to think of what I've got to do now.
Yeah.
So when things go wrong, my mindset is, first of all, I prepare myself for already before when things go wrong. How am I going to conduct myself? My mindset,
That's it.
my body language, my commitment, my discipline, my mindset when it comes to, right, now we've hit here, things went wrong, things can't go worse. We've hit the wrong.
bottom.
Now the only way is up. So that mindset of, right, that's where I am now. But look at it from a different perspective. All right, things went wrong, but I can't think negative. I can't be beating myself down or feeling sorry for myself. I've got to think, you know what?
Yeah.
Where can I go from here?
That's right.
What can I do now to amend what happened? Where I faulted, where I left something out, or stuff happens in life. Stuff happens, right. I understand what to do when things go right. Like they say, when God makes things go right, okay, we all know how to act. We thank God, we whatever.
Yeah.
But what if when things don't go right? You need to be able to still say, you know what, I still got that faith. I still got that belief of, you know what, I'm still going to have my trust in my coach. I'm still going to have my trust in my God. I'm still going to have a trust in myself to keep going. Even when things go wrong. Even when everyone's against me, it doesn't matter. Because I know the amount of years I've put into this, the amount of nights I've not slept, the amount of tears I've had over wanting to be successful and things went right. I can't just let that go just because one thing went bad.
You know, I can hear you speaking about God a lot, and I can see your faith is really strong. Obviously, what's your religion? Is it Christianity or is it you're Muslim?
Muslim.
Right? So it's all one God. And how's that helping you in your fights, your faith? And
You know what?
everything?
This has helped me a lot in in boxing to the fact of when it comes down to what people say to me, like, because I've had a lot of people give me inspirational quotes and say a lot of things to me that made me think, yo, all right, and give me motivation. But one thing that Islam brought to me is I had it was the day I reverted, mashallah. The day I reverted, I walked out the mosque, and a brother turned around and said to me, you know what? As everyone's being nice to you, saying, yes, you got 2.2 billion brothers, God's going to bless you. Someone turned around and went, listen, no matter what, no matter how good you get in boxing, you're never good. There's always someone better than you. No matter how important you are in this world, never get too big for your own boots. Because there's one man always above you, and that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
That's right.
And that has made me think, even into boxing terms, yes, I'm good. But I'll never be up my own game or thinking I'm too good for my own boots or I've made it for the pure fact of, no, there's always someone better than me. So now I've got to think, yeah, I've done good, I won, but I can win more. Yeah, I trained and I done...
See, how God's designed us, there's always someone better out there, than you. You're there for a time. It's written for you to be there for a certain amount of years. Humble yourself. If you're going to go overboard, I'm going to take that away from you.
Exactly.
And it will happen like that.
And one thing I like about Islam as well a lot is the fact of we know our purpose in this life. So no matter what goes wrong, or if things go right, or if something delays, we still know what the purpose is, where we need to end, where we need to go. So even with boxing, that thing of when things go wrong, I know how to conduct myself for the pure fact of, nope, I still have an end goal. That end goal needs to be reached no matter what.
That's good. Good mentality.
We're all men of God.
Yeah.
So we all believe in God.
I believe in God.
Like for me, I don't even think it's necessary that there's always someone better than you. It's just like if you mix two chemicals together, you get a neutral response. You mix two other chemicals together, you get an explosion. There's always a person out there which you're chemically is going to be bad for you. So like, you just need to recognize if you're not training properly, if you're not hungry all the time, and you take your foot off the gas. When you're the champion, everyone sees you, but when you're the challenger, no one sees you.
Exactly. That's why I rate a lot of them old fighters. And I watch a lot of the old school fighters, because you look at these new school guys, they're getting hand-picked fights. Not only that, they're getting fights picked at the right time.
You haven't watched me yet.
So
there's some exceptions. But like, they're getting fights picked at the right time, so it's more suited for them. And then when they win, they're acting like they're the best thing in the world. And no one can ever beat them. They're unstoppable. But the moment they think like that, that's when they lose.
Of course.
Because they took their foot off the gas, they relax, they miss training because they're like, nah, I'm good. I don't believe in talent. I don't think talent exists.
Hard work, dedication.
I think what takes people far is hard work and having a smart head on your shoulders. Being smart is what takes you far. Being talented, I don't think you can just walk up one day and you're good at boxing. You can't do that. I think the people that, like, you can put a rugby player to do an exhibition in boxing, and you can put a chess player, and you can get them doing the same type of training for the same amount of time and get them to fight each other. I promise you, the person who plays chess will win. He's already using his brain. He's a smart person. So when he goes in the ring, he'll bring the IQ into the ring. So now he's not just I hit you, you hit me. Now he understands the science of things. I need to move a certain way. I need to act a certain way, position myself. I need to time it. I need to make you believe something that's happening when it's not happening, and vice versa.
Movement patterns. It's all about movement patterns.
Exactly.
Like the good fighters, I don't even know if I want to say this in the podcast because I'm giving some tips away. This is what I've learned. I'm going to do it. Good fighters, talented fighters, watch their opponent and think, this guy moves. So I know all Tyson Fury's movements. I know AJ's movements because I watched them. I don't know if they recognise it.
And Roy Jones, you love.
I know Roy Jones's movements. Every fighter has got a movement pattern. So Tyson Fury's is bounce twice in the spot, circle off right, bounce twice. So you get a trainer who understands his movement pattern, you know where he's going to be on the third move. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Some people don't understand that side of boxing because they're just like thinking of their game plan. Guys like Floyd Mayweather understand that. So they're watching every single opponent they're going to fight, and they spend 6 months working around that person's movement pattern. and that's how the combinations fall into place. That's why the foot fall into place. It's a mind game.
Yeah.
That's why I rate a lot of old school fighters, because say like the Floyds, like the Shakur Stevensons, they've all learned off who? The old school guys, because they were the guys that brought the sweet science of boxing. You didn't see them doing strength and conditioning.
No.
You saw them doing boxing,
Technical.
boxing. Everything was about how to move, how to act, how to throw, how to defend.
Why
And
moving out.
I say now, this is why I differentiate. I don't say rubbish or terrible fighters. I say you got average pros and you got elite fighters. And the difference between that, there's only a thin line which makes it different. And that thin line is the elite fighters are using their brain. They're treating it like a game of chess where they have to prepare their mind. They need to think 3 steps ahead. They need to be doing research on the fighter and seeing their patterns, and when they can catch them on their patterns, or what they like to do, what they don't like to do. In and out the ring. Because you need to get into your fighters. This is a fight, so you need to get into the opponent's head mentally. What they do in the ring and out the ring. Just so you got the full blueprint. And even then, you still got to be on edge. But that's the thin line between an average fighter and an elite fighter. And that's the very reason why I rate a lot of old school fighters, because they're all elite. And even these new school guys, they're learning off these people.
The top fighters can do one thing as well that some people can't do, is pivot. So in a certain situation, they can adjust. That's not working, they can adjust. Reading the situation and watching it, right, I'm going to have to stop what I'm doing here to figure out a little bit what he's doing in the middle of the action, and then adjust. And
resetting themselves, thinking, where did I go wrong? Or what are they doing? Right, let me try this, see if that works. That's the difference. Because you'll get a lot of guys that'll go, they're throwing their punches, and now what? Now defend. Throw punches, defend. No, that's not boxing. That's just fighting. If you want to get that, go on the street. You can get that all day. But to get in a ring, like I've had experiences with Roy Jones, one of his prospects called Kevin Newman.
Okay.
And when I sparred him, and he's been around the game for years. He's been in all of Devin Haney's training camps, and he's seen Devin Haney grow up from a kid. Right. And he's been his pal, his training partner, and he's a very, very talented and elite fighter. And when I sparred him, it was so intense, but nothing was happening. We were both looking at each other, about to step in, and I can see him doing something. I'm resetting, thinking, no, now's not the right time. He's doing the same thing. That is elite fighting.
And that's what I love about it. You know when you see the armchair fans, they're at home like, oh, this is boring. I'm
donkeys.
Booing. Booing. They're the donkeys. Like Johnny Nelson says, the donkeys.
You wear the lion, they're the
when
donkeys.
you're a lion, the lions don't argue with the donkeys. Let the donkeys be donkeys. But they're like, want to see. So if I go and watch, like, let's say, Gatti v. Ward, right? Yeah, it's brilliant to watch, right? Action-packed. Would I want to be in a fight like that? Would I ever put myself in a position to fight like that? No, never. I got brain cells that I want to maintain after boxing, right? But when we watch guys, like what you said, standing off, setting traps, adjusting and pivoting, I like that. That's why I like boxing, because it's the sweet science.
But to me, that makes more sense for the pure fact of, at the end of the day, we're in this because we don't want to work a 9 to 5. We don't want to be an average person. We want to do something that not everyone does. So you can't let boxing use you. You can't get to the point where you're in a fight and it looks like a Rocky film. You can't have that. Because when you leave boxing,
you got to live with it. You got to live with it.
You got to live with all the stuff you've endured. All them punches. When you retire, all them punches are going to equivalent and add up. And you're going to have to live with that for the rest of your life. That's why I rate boxers that use their brain, because they realize they use the sport until time's up, and now they still got the mindset to keep using their brain after boxing. That's what it's all about.
There's one thing when I box, I'd love to ask your dad this question as well. You're an active fighter. Your dad was a good fighter. I'll ask you as well. All right.
Okay.
When we box, we've all been up in that situation where a trainer, a coach, or someone in the gym said, put you in a position where your ego came in. So something like, oh, do you want to spar with this guy, or you need to go forward, or you're in a position where you have to show heart. All right. I remember one position like, oh, we need to spar with this guy, and I was like, he's 14 stone, I'm 10 stone. I'm not going to spar with him. And I'm like, they're looking at me like I'm a pussy, like I'm and I'm like, no, I'm comfortable with the decision that I'm making. This is my health. I'm not giving 4 stone away in sparring, because I've just watched him spar with someone who's 2 stone lighter, and he's trying to knock him out. I'm not going to put myself in that situation. But then they make me feel like I'm a coward. And I see other fighters crumble. That the ego gets in. I was never one of them guys. I was like, no, I'm smarter than that.
I think when I was boxing, I think I had
You give into it a little bit.
Yeah, I did, because that's how I was. I was thinking, well, okay, if that was the streets, am I going to get the weighing scales out and weigh him? No, I'm not. It's a fight, so jump in.
Do you look at that's when you box, but how do you see that situation?
Now, I still, it is. I'd explain to the person, you got to go easy. You can't punch too hard, but I will spar with you, but go easy, because you're heavier than me. I'll explain to him, but if it started going heavy, I don't know.
I've had a situation similar to that where my ego has been tested. My ego gets tested often. At times during sparring where, as a man, I can't let another man take liberties. That's ego gets activated naturally through that. But I've had, I've had a fight get scheduled, and the last week of the fight, opponent changes are happening. And opponent changes are happening at different weights. So there was one period in February where for 4 days straight, I was putting on a stone because I'm getting told I'm fighting at super middleweight. And then the next day, literally at 11 at night after I finished eating, the fight's getting made at light middleweight. You need to go lower. So for 4 days straight, I put a stone on, I'm dropping a stone, putting a stone on, dropping a stone for 4 days straight. And I was doing that, and my brother and my father know it. And all the gym boys, they've seen it happen. And they're like, whoa. You can see from my body language, don't talk to me, because my head wasn't in the right place for the pure. And then I'm getting told, do you still want to fight? I'm thinking, yeah, of course. I'm not going to back down from no fight. But then I had to...
What's your dad like in that situation?
In situations like this, he goes off me because he doesn't feel what I feel.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got to give credit to him on that aspect. He asks me how I feel and where I want to go. Yeah. So in that situation, my ego was activated. I thought, well, I'm not going to back down from no fight. Who am I to back down from a fight? And then next minute, people can say I'm dodging. I'm not dodging no one.
Let me ask you, Dad. Your dad's off camera. What would you do in that? What do you do in that situation? What's your thoughts? Come through. Because I think this is important. What in that situation? How do you feel when he's put in that situation?
Well, we gotta. So as a coach, it's not even as a fighter. As a coach, you gotta think what's the best for your fighter. Yeah. So you gotta think is it healthy losing all this weight and then putting back on and then losing and put it back on. So I've got to think of the bigger picture, especially when they're young and they've got years ahead of them. Is it worth taking that risk? It's not the risk like the fight. It's like what he's doing to his body. To actually get to the fight, because fighters do get brain damage through
dehydration,
cutting weight and putting back on. So you don't know how your body's how your body responding. Reacting. So our answer and for his particular case with him was, you know what, it's more fights out there. I'm not feeling this.
And that's because you've been through that situation.
Yeah, so I'm not feeling this. You're not fighting. Full stop. So I had to reimburse everyone, and we do sell quite a lot of tickets. Reimburse everyone, and then explain to everyone that unfortunately won't be able to fight in the reasons. And then move on to the next one.
That's it. It's always time.
That's the best.
Good coach there. That's not even a dad decision. That's a coach decision.
Coach experience as well. You know what I mean?
That now means you can get in there, give 100% because he's.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you got like when he said you got to build a connection. Even if he wasn't my father, you have to build a connection as if it is your father.
Yes.
Like I've seen the gym boys at time look at my dad as if it's their dad.
It's true.
And you've got to treat it like that, because if you don't treat it like that, then how can you trust that very person to be in your corner to guide you through a fight? Especially when you're doing 12 rounds. You've got to trust this person, not only for their training camp, but you need to trust this person that he's going to look after you and give you the best advice. So you got to look at it as if it's family, as if it's your father. And you got to be able to trust him and trust yourself that you trust them to take you that far. And especially with everyone in the gym so far, everyone in the gym, young. We're young in boxing. Me, I'm a kid in boxing. Being 21 years of age, that's young. And at times I forget that. So it's good to have someone that you trust to remind you, you're only young. So take your time. We got plenty of fights. I've got another decade of boxing.
You have.
And the amount of fights I can get in a decade. Why do I need to rush this one fight? And especially with the conditions, leave it. Save yourself for an actual situation that you're prepared for, and there's no rush.
Yeah.
This is a long journey. This isn't a race. This is a marathon.
Nice one. You're raising a good son. You did a good job. You're doing a good job. That was deep, but I think that's relevant. I think that what you just explained there, paraphrasing, is you're seeing the bigger picture, not the smaller picture. And the ego wants to make you see the smaller picture.
I've seen a lot of people use their ego during either fighting or training, and it doesn't help no one.
Help.
It brings you downhill. If anything, it makes you do things you didn't want to do. And you can make mistakes off of that. Like say, there's mistakes of people, like we go through it. What happens, like when we said when things go wrong, we rehearse when you get rocked or you get hit with a good shot, how to act. There's people out there that don't get taught that and don't have that trust and that bond with their coach. So when it happens, they get put down. They rush to get up straight away. They don't do the standing 5 count. They stand up straight away. Now you got a head rush. Now your legs are all over the place. Your ego put you in a bad situation. So there's a very thin line of when to use your ego and when not to. And it's good to have the right coach around you to be able to remind you, yo, use it or don't use it, or think about when you should use it.
Good. Make the right decision at the right time. I wished at the weekend, Josh Warrington, when he got clipped with that second shot, he'd just gone and took a knee.
And that's strictly down to Josh Warrington's style. If you ask me personally, is based off ego. Don't get me wrong, he's a very, very good fighter. But his ability and his whole demeanor is based on ego. He gets uplifted by the crowd. He throws, I don't know, 1,000 punches around. This is a bravado. That's like Otorigawa type of fighting. That type of fighting will only last so long because you'll meet someone just like that. And now because there's barely any thinking going on and loads of heart, you'll make mistakes. And his ego, he wanted to hit him so bad, caught him with a good shot, boom, that was it.
It's funny you should say that, because if you think about when Gatti fought Ward, because he came through the trilogy, who did he get to fight after that?
Exactly.
Mayweather's. And Mayweather's is one of Mayweather's easiest fights.
Made a skill out of him. He not only did he show him that ego is nothing and it's all about brains, they made a fool out of him.
I thought
I know that Otorigawa probably went home that day and probably thought, wow, I need to change how I box. I can't be boxing with my heart, because someone with brain didn't have to use their heart. And imagine if they did, how much more damage I would have received.
That's when I look at Tyson Fury to see the same thing. Like, he uses his brain, but he can fight if he needs to fight. You saw it in the Wilder fight when he realised, actually, this guy, I'm going to have to stand and have it here. That can always be there if you need it, but it shouldn't be your first point of call, right?
Like my coach always says all the time. Like my coach always says, yes, you got heart. It's good to have heart, especially in a fighting game, because you need to be having that thing of you can't let another man push you back. Just because of that male dominance and that alpha male thing. But don't use it. Save it for when you need it.
Right.
Use your brain.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm trying to get at. Yeah, it's there when you need to use it, but use your head before your heart, right?
That's right.
Some people lead with the heart before the head, and then
mistakes.
And not only that, I say, imagine I'm in the 12th round and I use my heart in them 12 rounds. The person I'm fighting or could be fighting is watching that fight and seeing all the cards I'm showing. Because I'm using my heart, I'm showing everything. I'm doing everything I can to get that W.
Just leaving for you to get
so he's seeing everything I'm doing. I'm showing him all my cards. So when I end up fighting him, what have I got left to show? He knows everything. So it's good to just pick it when you need it.
100%. 100%. It's because then you've got more variety to win in it. It's like you don't ever want to. It's like in sparring. I'm guessing you already know this, but not showing all your cards in sparring as well.
No, definitely, because these people you're sparring could be potentially people you're fighting,
opponent,
and you don't want to show all your cards because you could fight them. And thanks to God for the fact that my brain alone can cause people to not want to fight me in the future. And I can mention names, but we'll be here all day if I mention names. The amount of people I've sparred that I've demolished them with just my brain alone. Obviously, not to mention names, but you got obviously the Tom Rafferty, you've got Tom Jeffers, you've got what's his name again? You've got a couple fights. There's loads. There's so many that I'm struggling to pick specific ones.
Who was the fight you was telling me when we came today about?
Oh,
when the
so say Harley Ben.
Harley Ben.
I was calling out Harley Ben.
Yeah.
I'm not dumb. I know why I'm calling him out. I've watched his fights. He ain't got nothing about him. So I'm willing to use my ego to take myself there. And I can mention names, and this is just my brain alone. So imagine when I start using my heart. I'll demolish these people. I'll make them. I've made, even in the amateurs, I've made people retire in amateurs. My first ever skill bout, I made someone retire. Stop boxing after that, started doing haircuts. When I first fought in Liverpool and I got a stoppage on my first fight.
Wow.
3rd round stoppage. He's doing training now, stop boxing.
Yeah.
The amount of people I've retired. And that's just using my brain alone. So that's just to show that don't show all your cards by using your heart. Use it when you need it, but use your brain at first. That's what controls the whole body.
It's all about this in boxing.
Yeah.
If you use that first,
Exactly.
in every way, even you don't have to go out crazy.
Tyson
You can
says
take
this,
your time.
Mike Tyson says
Take your time.
if you had, don't choose to box.
Nah.
It's a smart man's game,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
What do you think at the weekend with the Fury and KSI? How do you read the situation? How do
You know
think this will
what?
go?
Since I've actually seen how Tommy Fury is, because I've sparred him a couple of times and been in his training camps to prepare him for fights that he's had in the past, he's a very gifted fighter. He's lucky that he's in that family and that he's learning the little gems that they give him.
Yeah.
But in my personal opinion, I feel like over the years he's relaxed. As he's came into YouTube boxing and more of misfits fights and exhibitions and stuff like this, he's gone into this more relaxed state of fighting where you're going into average fighting, pro fighting, and you're not an elite fighter no more. And for me, I feel like this fight, if he's trained with the mentality of I need to make sure that I look good, hit, don't get hit, and treat it like a natural fight, I feel like he can stop him early rounds. But if he's treated it like an exhibition or, oh, I'm fighting a YouTuber, I feel like it could go either way. It could go the rounds because they're both tough.
Yeah.
It could go the rounds. They're both fit. I know they've both been training hard. They both look in amazing shape.
Yeah.
But it all goes down to how Tommy's prepared for this fight.
Yeah.
It's his fight,
Yeah.
but
It's
it
how
all
he does
depends
it.
on how he's prepared himself for it.
That's right.
Yeah, and I hope that he it's going to be interesting because I expect Tommy to win where it goes next because there's only probably Logan Paul for him to fight in that YouTube
Exactly,
scene, right?
because when in the YouTube scene, there is only at that weight, there is only Logan Paul. Who else is there? So he has to turn back to pro fighting eventually, or completely stop fighting.
Or is he running away from the pro scene and just?
If you ask me
He's
personally,
making money, isn't he?
if you ask me
Yeah.
personally, whether he boxes at light heavyweight or cruiserweight, there's a load of light heavyweights and cruiserweights that will wipe the floor with him, and put shame on the Fury name, and that's what we don't want.
Yeah.
We don't want a name so high and so important like that, especially in boxing, to get looked and frowned down upon like that. So I feel like he'll avoid pro boxing for a bit.
Yeah, because if he goes down to light heavyweight, you've got Dan Aziz, you've got Boatsi, Bivol,
Vita Biv,
What do you think?
Biv. You've got, I'm trying to think over here.
Joshua Boatsi, Dana Aziz,
What do you think about his next fight? Boas?
Yard. You got Yard as well.
Oh, Yard as well.
Yardi.
Yeah. Boas-
All these fighters, they train like this is their life, and that's how you're supposed to treat it. Tommy's made it already. He don't need boxing.
Financially secure, right?
And
He is.
because of that, naturally, subconsciously, he'll relax. And that is what will make the difference when he goes back to pro fighting, because these guys are doing it like their life depends on it.
Yeah.
You're just doing it because you want to do it. There's a difference.
Yeah,
These
yeah,
guys are doing it. It's everything for me.
Yeah.
You're doing it because, oh, my surname's Fury.
Yeah.
No, the big difference. Just mindset alone.
It'd be interesting to see how it plays out. I mean, I won't blame him if he just took his money and says, you know what, it's not for me.
I'd put my hands up and go, you know what, I rate him. If he goes, you know what, I'm gonna just stick with the YouTube thing and just get more money and do what, like Tyson said, he just admitted to this fight he's take just to get cash, just to get this money. I prefer that than him turning around and going, I'm gonna turn back to the pro scene, win a belt, and then end up fighting no one's
Again.
fighting for a belt, but then you're fighting the 80th person who's ranked for that belt instead of fighting number 1 or 2.
picking opponents.
And then going back to your question about Boatsi and Dan Aziz, when I went to Virgil Hunter's gym with Lyndon Arthur, we went for a month in San Francisco to train with them.
Yeah.
And watching Joshua Boatsi train, he's a different type of fish. Listen, hands down, I don't take nothing away from Dan Aziz. Dan Aziz is an amazing fighter. He's got a very old school Marvin Hagler type of style, and he suits it, and he's doing very good in his career, and he's not no pushover. But the way that Boatsi is, and how he allows himself to take time to allow new information, new skills, to learn and to get into himself before he takes another fight, I rate him for that, and I think that he will win this fight.
They're friends as well, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
but then, again, like Boatsi said, at the end of the day, it's business, and there's no friendship in the sport.
It'd be interesting to. I think Boatsi will come through it, and then it'll line up with Yard, right? Yard's looking for it as well.
How do you think with him and Yard? With the winner out of them? Anyone them two?
I ain't going to bet against Boatsi.
No,
I won't bet against Boatsi.
Against Yard. And what about the...
I feel like Boatsi's style will take... I say his style is a 12-round style, Boatsi. He's suited... It's an Andre Ward type of style. Everything's calculated, using your brain. IQ.
Yeah.
Yardy, he's got IQ, but not as much as Boatsi, in my opinion. And on top of that, he uses his heart a lot. He shows he's strong. But I don't think his strength would be able to outstand Boatsi's IQ.
Yeah, I think Boatsi prepare probably different as well.
Definitely.
He's got more grassroots, hasn't he? He's a GB guy as well. He's been around a high level amateur careers and then going into the pro ranks, and he's putting himself in uncomfortable positions.
And one thing about Boatsi that differentiates him from other fighters is he has no ego. He's a very nice guy. Listen, probably the nicest guy I've ever met in my life. There's no bad thing you can point at him and say, but his ego, he's got no ego. He like when we was over there, some days he wouldn't be in, and I'd be like, why is he not in? Text him, I'm resting. My body needs rest. I might not want to rest, but my body needs to rest. Recovery is important. So he's smart. He uses his brain before anything. He might want to train, but he uses his brain first. But maybe. And my body needs a rest. I don't want to overwork my body. That's what differentiates him from a lot of fighters, and I rate that.
Well, like when we trained at the Ingles, and we used to like do all the sparring. Oh, can I have one more round, Brendan? You go, no, get your gloves off, get out, or do some sit-ups.
Yeah,
we didn't know.
Recovery's important. Recovery's massively important.
We didn't really look at it like that. Thinking we can go on, have 2 more rounds, but he said no, go home, have a rest. And you know what is right. You need that rest.
So you do. But Boatsi for me is that what we've been talking about. He's new and old school. He does all the old stuff, incorporating the new stuff, and that's the importance. Like the new stuff gives you the edge, but you can't neglect the old stuff. There's some people do the new stuff. Do all the strength and conditioning, they're fit, but like I hate when I hear fighters say they lose a fight and they're like, I want to train harder. Well, that ain't why you lost. You lost because you were doing too much strength and conditioning and focused too much on the nutrition, which I'm not saying you shouldn't, and you didn't work on the grassroots, which was the boxing. So the only way you win that fight is to do what Sugar Leonard did against Duran and go back and watch the tape to figure out what you did wrong.
And that's right.
And Boatsi's that type of guy. So I have a good friend, Lewis Williams, who won the Commonwealth Gold. He's going to get ready for the next Olympics. And sparred with Boatsi for years on GB, and he would tell me very similar stories to what you're saying.
Because it's like, it goes down to what you said. It's the fact of you don't know if them extra 2 rounds are going to do you dirty. You might injure yourself. It's all about using your brain. And everyone's worried about the wrong aspect of fighting. They're not trying to prepare themselves to box for 12 rounds. They're preparing themselves to be fit for 12 rounds. There's a difference. I can be super fit for 12 rounds, but if I come across a boxer who uses his brain, he can control me that whole time, and I won't get a single shot off. There's a big difference. That's why I rate like Tyson Fury. He is in no way, shape, or form someone that you'd look at as a fighter, but his brain and the research that he does into boxing and what he learns, he can get himself them 12 rounds and make it look easy. And you got fighters like Anthony Joshua, they look like they're ready. They look like they're going to put on a show, they're super fit. After but then because they don't know what's going on, after 4 or 5 rounds, they're done. Now everything is just off of whatever the head's already thinking.
Yeah, there's internal for this and external. Me as an online coach and a PT, people, they already know the answer, but you have to phase it. So if you see Joshua and you look at Fury and you ask the general public and you ask them a question, who's the fittest? Everyone says AJ. It's okay. Let me rephrase the same question. Who can run for a bus better? Right? And then people start to feel, well, Fury can run for a bus better. So you're saying Fury's more healthier then? Yeah. So Fury's internally fitter, but the way you change yourself aesthetically is proteins, carbohydrates, and lifting weights aesthetically, right? So a top-level bodybuilder might look in physique, but he's not healthy because there's guys dying at 32, 33, 34 who look aesthetically good. Fighters have to be a little bit of both. They have to be. They want to look aesthetically good because it gives you that look, but more importantly, you want to be cardiovascular fit.
Exactly, because you need to be fit for purpose.
Yeah, precisely.
I would rather do 12 rounds intense, game planning as if the bag is a fighter, and do 12 rounds in the bag, than go for a run for an hour. That run for an hour, yes, it'll get me fit, but it's not getting me fighting fit.
No,
fighting fit is a whole different
mind,
whole different ball game.
Soul, and everything in that bag.
Yeah,
that's
it's totally different. Totally different.
Yeah,
we're gonna answer these questions.
Definitely. We're going to give some nice questions here to answer. We want to know about you. People want to know about you as well. Not just being a fighter, but everyday life as well.
Of course.
So when you're at home, what's your favourite movie you like to watch? What's your favourite film?
Your dad just said it was Love Island. Did you hear that?
No, because you have to watch Love Island. You have to stay there.
I watched the Tommy one because it was very interesting because I knew Tommy. But apart from that, all of the other ones, they just felt like they were just bit dragged on.
Yeah.
But me, it's not even movies. You'd be surprised. I'm into my anime.
Okay.
I love anime. Love watching it. The stories and then the motivation it gives me. I just absolutely love anime.
My wife's addicted to Korean dramas.
Yeah.
She's got me watching it.
And Chinese and Japanese.
She got me watching that Squid Game. It was quite good though.
I like that as well.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I can't watch anything like that in dub. I've got to watch it in subtitles.
Yeah, I'm like that.
Reading.
Yeah. You watch it with the subtitles, don't you? See, I get like I'm always working, so I need to use my ears. I can't read the subtitles.
And especially like when my dad said about how it frees his mind, so he doesn't have to, so he can relax because obviously he's in the gym all the time, so that's intense. My relaxation is anime. The moment I put it on and watch, only 20 minutes each episode, but the moment I'm watching it, I'm zoned out to another place.
Yeah.
And then that's me relaxing. That's me switching off. Me
We
getting
all
my
need
rest
someone,
time.
don't we?
Yeah.
My thing's the Xbox.
Yeah.
You got the Xbox.
I had my Xbox as well.
Yeah. I'm
Are
on
you
Assassin's Creed
online?
right now.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't
Keep
play
up.
FIFA.
Oh, you don't
No,
keep up. What
I
do
don't
you play, John?
FIFA, no. Man United are not doing well in a minute, so
Oh,
we don't.
okay. So you don't play football. Okay,
Don't talk
play
about football.
You can
I
hook
mean,
him
I'm
up
struggling with that,
and
mate.
get online.
Yeah,
man.
when the Xbox, me, it's just NBA.
NBA.
But then my NBA is bad because I take that to heart.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as playing for fun. If you hop on the game to play with me, we're playing to win.
You play at John NBA.
You know, when I was his age, I was the same way. I have this friend, and he was always good at games. He comes round and got GoldenEye. You know GoldenEye, James Bond. So he comes round, and I'm like, yeah, I got this new game. And he comes and he beats me. And he still beat me for a whole hour. And then he says, yeah, I got to go now. I said, oh, yeah, a couple more games. He said, no, I said, I've got to go. A couple more hours. 3 hours in. He said, no, seriously, I got to go now. This is in Sheffield, but he's going to go back to Leeds. Yeah. So I went, oh, just let me use the toilet. One more game, you go. I locked the doors and said, you're not fucking going anywhere until I beat you.
I had something similar to that.
Right.
I remember
I
coming
hate
this one
losing,
day,
man.
and we all finished training. This was when I was about 15. I was off school, and we all trained. And then we all decided to play FIFA in the office. Yeah. Me and Lyndon ended up playing a game.
Yeah.
He picked Liverpool, I picked City.
You're not a City fan, are you?
Nah, I don't watch football. No. I just picked City because I thought.
We're all ready in here. We're all ready in
so.
here. Are we all ready? Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good.
At the time, they had Aguero, and I thought Aguero had a good shot on him, so I thought I'm just going to use that team and just abuse him.
We'll let you off.
But it got to 1-1. And then the game ended, and I thought, you know what, leave it there. Yeah. So I shook his hand, I thought, I'm fine with that, because I just wanted to play for fun. Yeah. The moment I tried to walk out the door, he put his hand in the door, he went, you're not going nowhere. So I'm shouting. I'm shouting out the room, going, yo, someone open the door. He's like, he's not leaving. We played again. It was 3-1 to him. Then that's it. He's boasting, and I'm like, I'm not doing this again. After that day, I never played for fun. Any game I play, it's got to be to win. Because I can't have people like that ever again pushing me.
Listen, I go to friends' houses to pull ball games out. There'll be me and my wife and them. And let's play. Oh, I'll watch. No, I'll watch. You guys play the first game. Because I want to see what they're like when they're winning. Because as soon as I play, like, it's going to get serious. And I've lost friendships over it.
Yeah,
like,
you lose a lot of friendships.
I'm sure you when you got your Xbox, you asked me to play a game. I'm sure you did.
I don't ask you to play an Xbox game. You're
You
shutting
did.
everything.
No, anyway, I beat him one game, you know. Boy, it was the
Well, you
first
beat me
time.
at?
Yeah, I can't remember I beat at a game, and he went, "Wait a minute, have you played before?" I said,
You've been
"Nah,
dreaming.
It was I
beat
beat
me
on one
nothing.
game, man. Anyway, next question. What's your favourite shot or your favourite combination?
Well, my favourite shot is the jab. Jab
Yeah?
does everything.
Nice.
Oh,
Everything
definitely.
comes off the jab.
Yeah.
That's right.
Jab is
But when
serious,
it comes to my favourite finishing shot, it'd have to be either a left hook to the body or a right hook to the body, because
Like
I'm
your
very
dad.
good at a right hook to the body.
like your dad.
Very good.
It's in the blood.
You just can't beat body shots.
I want to see this left hook. I never would chuck the left hook to the body.
And yeah, I
It's
have.
like, it's like an uppercut. It's like an angle coming up. Like, it's like a hook uppercut.
I just love it because the
Show
moment you
me
hit,
after. I
the
wanna
moment
see
you
it.
hit them with it,
Yeah.
it's like there's a delayed
I
effect.
think you better
Where
shorts on a
you
back
hit
one
them
time.
and you think nothing's happening,
Yeah.
and then after 2 seconds you see their face change, and you're like, yeah,
It's
that's
not like a body shot, man.
nah. I remember the first time I got hit with a left hook to the body, and that was my last time.
Yeah.
I was 14 years old, and my dad got me to do some technical sparring with this kid who was crazy hot in the gym. And I'm there thinking with my best mate, and I'm thinking, I don't want to do this, but we got to do it. So we're doing sparring. I got caught with a shot. This kid didn't even notice he hit me with this shot. My reaction, I just went,
Delay reaction.
Yeah,
and it's like breathing through a straw.
I think the hardest place to get hit is when you solo play.
Yes.
You get
That
hit
you
solo
don't know how to think with a solo play
Yeah.
shot. You know what I mean?
Scatters you, right?
It does, man.
My
does.
question now.
You be careful, son.
You asked 2 questions there. You
Yeah,
jumped
don't
in
worry
again,
about
mate.
it. Come on,
It's
man.
one-on-one, mate. I want to
We're
get
gonna
to know
spar
as well, man.
one day.
I'm not going to spar.
The heavy,
mate.
you know.
Nah,
Yeah, man.
my hands are faster than yours.
Watch
mate.
yourself.
I'll tell you right now.
Heavy.
Oof,
Ask
never
your
mind
dad-
the KSI and Tommy Fury fight. We got a
Ask your
fight
dad,
right
man,
here.
how heavy
We
these
got
are.
cameras.
The heavy these
Get
are,
the ex-
Paul.
get the
You know what the
extra
heavy these, innit? Paul knows, man.
Face
How heavy
off.
they are, man. Right, go on then,
You
so.
can hit as hard as you want. You
Go
can't
on.
hit me. You can't hurt me.
Oof.
Okay, Paul knows what everything. That's a trainer.
Paul don't know about me, does he? Listen.
Anyway.
So now I want to find a lot about you by this question. What is your favorite workout song? What does it for you?
Wow. My favorite workout song.
What
When
just
it comes
makes you
to-
bubble up. As soon as you hear it, you bubble up and you're ready to go.
It's got to be Joyner Lucas' Revenge. Just because there's the first part of the song is a minute of him just talking about how people view him and how he feels about it and how people get the wrong perception of him. And then it cuts into the song. But the way it builds up, it relates to me a lot because some of the things he says in that I can relate, and I can look back and think when that happened to me or when that happened to me and how people doubted me or people looked at me a certain way. But when that song comes on, I just get this adrenaline boost where nothing matters from what I'm doing.
Zoning.
It's either Joyner Lucas' Revenge or it's got to be Shooter by Lil Uzi Vert and Playboy Carti, just because how hyped it gets you. And I'm a Lil Uzi Vert fan.
It's the lyrics. The
Get,
lyrics.
get me in any concert of his and I'll know all the lyrics. All of them.
What was yours?
Mine.
Yeah.
You know, it depends on the mood
Pavarotti.
I want to be in, but I listen to, you know, like if I was wanting to be in like a relaxed mood, I listen to a bit
Nah, but what is the song that you like? Right, ready to go. Ready to fight.
Hard Ready to Fight.
You hear it and you're like, yeah, I'm ready.
Can't go wrong with Meat Mill.
Rocky music. Rocky music.
I'm old school, man. I'm old school. It was James Brown.
James Brown.
I'm a sexy mother.
I like This Is a Man's World.
I used to like that one. I
Ask
like
your
that
dad. Ask your dad
tempo.
what his was.
Yeah.
Ask
Paul,
your dad what his was.
What tune do you like? What gets you up with James Brown? Aye.
Radio.
By Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill.
Fugees,
Okay,
right?
okay.
Fugees.
yeah.
Hey, didn't that Conor Ben come out to that?
I think so. I think he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah,
But
Conor Ben
James
was at
Brown, man. James Brown just got me. It's the bass. Like, I'm a musician, so I like that bass. It gets me.
I'm gonna say mine now, but you don't understand music.
No, I don't understand music. I'm a musician, man.
Mine, Paul understand. Paul
understand nothing, man.
Tears for Fears. Everybody wants to rule the world.
Oh, well, the words are good there. That's touching,
yeah, man. I'm ready when that comes on, man.
Yeah, it's like crying, got tears in your eyes and ready to
Nas
kill
did a
man.
remix of it. Nas did a remix of it.
Yeah,
a couple of years after. Yeah.
Right, next question.
It's your question.
Yes, no, it's my question.
Go on then.
Who's your favourite actor? What were you watching?
You're going to say Denzel like
Denzel
that.
like
You know what? My favourite actor is either Will Smith or Denzel, but
what about Samuel?
it has to go into the individual role. And my favourite, because obviously it's like boxing. I've not got a favourite fighter, but I've got favourite fighters for certain aspects. So Samuel Jackson, I love his scenes in Coach Carter.
Yeah.
And then you got Denzel Washington. You cannot beat the film Remember the Titans.
That's it, yes.
That was great.
If anyone's ever watched, listen, go home, watch Remember the
It's a
Titans.
good movie, yeah.
Very good.
He plays a really good part in there.
Or even Heath Ledger.
Who's your favourite actor?
It's hard for me to answer that question.
Yeah, from way back, because
I have 3 actors.
I have
that
as
I
well.
really
What's the
like.
3 and now why does it represent them 3?
So I'll tell you why. I did acting like you, right? So, not in particular order, but these 3: Robert Duvall, Anthony Hopkins, and Tommy Lee Jones.
Right.
Because you can put them in any role and they can do anything.
Okay.
They can play a cowboy. They can play. Anthony Hopkins is a little guy, but he is scary when he loses cool, like Silence of the Lambs.
I forgot the one who the dark skinned fella, the Denzel Washington, and Rocky. Sylvester Stallone. I just like Rocky movies.
Sylvester Stallone plays that part really well, but he's not as a versatile actor.
I just like the movie, man. And who else? He played another black fella, actor. I forgot his name now. He played Demolition Man.
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes. Yeah, because the movie I liked him in Streets of Gold. Yeah, Streets of Gold. That's an old boxing. It's an old boxing movie. It's good. And
you can put that at my house.
I put it on the house.
Terrible,
I put it on the boxing group as well. But I'll put it on again. I love watching it.
You remember when you put it at the house? I fell asleep. It's boring. I watched that. Man.
Even what's that actor called that plays the protagonist in Scarface?
Scarface.
The bad guy.
Yeah, the bad guy. I'm the bad guy.
Al Pacino.
I know you're on about. I don't know his name. Al Pacino.
Is that his name?
Yeah. He goes, "Saluto, my little friend."
Yeah,
Al Pacino.
I love watching him. I think he's one of the best actors as well. Because it's the fact of, it's one thing playing the role, but it's another thing becoming the role.
Yeah, I like it when he's in a restaurant and he goes, "You need bad guys like me. Say hello to the bad guy."
See it there?
Yeah. He's got scenes in there that will stay with you for life. Yeah. Like my favorite film, if we're gonna go down to favorite films, Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah.
See, when I was sat here and I said, "What's your favorite song?" I was like, "Is he gonna say Many Men here?" I thought he was gonna say Many Men. I love that Many Men.
I relate to Many Men a lot, but
I love it, man. That's from that movie.
Yeah. Okay, what's your favorite quote? Or advice someone's giving you?
My favorite advice in life that anyone's ever given me was my dad, and that's when he went, "Listen, no matter how strong you are, how big you get, you're not that big."
Yeah.
He always says it to me every so often. He go, "You're big, but you're not that big." And I'd get annoyed, and every time he says that, I'm like,
it's a parent thing,
like,
you know.
Like at times I look at him and I'll forget that he's my dad. I'm like, "Who do you think you are talking to like that about? You're big, but you're not that big. I'll show you how big I am." But then when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, humble yourself, because be thankful of everyone that's helped you get to where you are, because you're not going here by yourself. Yeah. You need people to get to where you need to get to. And
the truth is, if your dad don't get jiggy with your mum, you don't exist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you even have life, right?
Yeah, and he could take it away as well.
She's laughing.
That's what parents
he always
say,
says it. So he always says he can take it away. He always says,
"Thank you to you." You say that to your parents.
There's always one thing he says. There's always one thing he says all the time.
Yeah.
The one thing that he says all the time that annoys me, but it's true. He says, as long as he's got strength in one finger, I've always got to listen to him.
That's true.
So,
Definitely.
That's true. And one day you'll have kids and you'll understand it.
You're gonna say the same thing. Well, wait a minute, my daddy said that to me. You'd say that.
I can't wait to have kids. They're gonna get put through it.
Yeah, man.
You know, has everyone seen that movie Dens of Feast with 50 Cent?
I've watched it, and then the kid comes to pick up his
that's me.
and they're all at the door and he gets put in the room. Oh, that's
me.
funny.
That's me. When someone comes to pick my daughter up, I'm gonna take him into the garage where all my friends are just waiting to tell
I've
me.
already got it prepared. I do it with my siblings. Like I've got a younger sister, and anytime she brings over like a friend, me and my brother play bad cop and good cop, like how the Bad Boys did it, Will Smith, and how they did it. Just sit down. One of them's acting like he's not full chill. The other one's acting like he's trying to help him out. So I can't wait till our kids. They're gonna get put through it.
Yeah, man. They need to know, right? Johnny. I've got one for you. Favorite boxing movie of all time.
Oof. I don't like to say any of the Rockies because I just don't like how it portrays boxing.
Okay.
Because boxing is a thinking sport, not just hit and get hit.
Yeah.
But my favorite movie is either got to be
The Fighter.
It's either got to be The Raging Bull or The Cinderella Man.
Okay.
It's out of them two. And that's just down to the history of it.
What do you think of Ruben Hurricane Carter with Denzel Washington? I think that's my favorite boxing movie.
I've not watched that just yet.
Have you not watched it?
Not watched
Well,
that.
go on to Fight Stick and watch that. Really good.
Have you watched the George Foreman movie?
Yes.
I didn't like it.
No.
I thought they rushed it because I thought I know George's story and they could have just made that into a TV series. They could have just put more in it. But the Ruben Hurricane Carter one with Denzel Washington, that's
really
good.
It's
a deep movie.
Really good.
Like I even like Ali by Will Smith, but I feel like it's too short.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I watched about 5 minutes because I'm a massive Ali fan, and I thought it's not against Will, but when you can't put Ali's life into 2 hours,
No,
it's
you can't.
Just impossible, man.
Have you watched the Mike Tyson film?
Yeah, I've even that as well.
Yeah, the one with Michael Jai White.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's rushed.
It's too rushed, and I don't think it goes into too much depth of what he actually went through.
He went for a lot.
Well, they were gonna do they were just about to do a remake of Tyson. With Jamie Foxx was gonna play it, but he got somewhat with him with COVID, didn't he?
Oh, right.
You know what? I won't be surprised if they make a film about Floyd.
It'll come.
Yeah, cool.
It'll come.
I won't be surprised.
It'd be nice to see a different side to Floyd. So I don't know how to take Floyd because I feel that every interview that he does is the same words. I know what he's going to say. I take my hat off to him. You've got to understand the A side, the B side. I just don't understand. I don't get him as a person because I just don't think he opens up in front of the camera.
I think what it is as well, I think he's not that educated.
No, I think he is.
Well, 50 Cent
He can't
said
be
he can't
billionaire and be
read.
stupid.
50 Cent said he couldn't read. That's how they fell out.
Yeah, but obviously.
Like I feel with Floyd is, since he's not had a childhood because he's had to box and then his dad being in and out of his prison,
Michael Jackson,
and his mum not being in his life all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like because of that, he's not
closed.
able to open himself up because he's never opened himself up to his family.
That's what I mean. I'd like to see a movie to see a different side to him. The one thing as well, right? Like I'm dyslexic, so reading and writing and that's no. So 50 can make fun of that. I love 50 Cent.
Yeah.
But Floyd must be clever.
Yeah,
He's got to be.
Because he's got to still make. Even if you hire people to work for you,
you
still got to make the decision.
Yeah,
You're the
definitely,
boss. You still got to go ahead and say what's right and wrong. You know what I mean? Listen, I could talk to you all day. I can see you're a smart young man.
Anyway, last question. What advice would you give a young boxer or old
For the next person coming on,
person coming on?
Advice for boxing or advice for life?
For the boxer.
Oh, for the boxer.
For the boxer.
I'd say you've got to be your number one biggest fan. No matter what anyone's telling you, whatever your goal is, what your aspirations are, you've got to make sure you achieve it.
Right.
And you only get what you put in.
Definitely. That's right. Definitely.
And a quote that I seen the other day, and I will give this as advice for someone, is the progression and the success and the magic that you're looking for is in the work that you've not done yet. So get to work.
That's deep.
Yeah, yep.
That's deep. I'm glad we're recording this.
I like that. Give him a
I'm
clap, man.
Like the guys,
wicked audience, man.
The guy's a philosopher as well. Listen, let's leave it here because I want the next person coming on to come on with a question. Leave a question for the next person coming in. Leave a question for the next person coming in. So
the question I have for the next person coming in is: everyone around you is telling you that you're good. Everyone's telling you where they can see you in 5-10 years time. Where do you see yourself?
Ooh, man's deep, man.
Yeah,
man's deep.
And that was that was target. That was target.
Paul, you done good. You done good. You done
that's
good.
The next person. Who's next? All right. Okay. Yeah.
Listen, that's been a great episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed it as much as us.
I've enjoyed it. I can talk to you guys for hours.
Listen, we'll be back, don't worry. We'll be here every week.
And you know what it is when you're champion? We're coming with you.
Inshallah, definitely.
Definitely.
We'll be a Joe Rogan.
Mashallah, mashallah.
Yes. Thank you for tuning to the 30th final round. And don't forget to share and like.
You said my lyrics, but that's okay. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Hit the notification button so you get the notification.
And tell a friend to tell a friend. And we're here.
And we out.